All right, so the very first thing I'm going to show you right now is more of the security of WordPress, because WordPress by itself, as long as you keep it updated, it's pretty much pretty secure. But there's some flaws with it even after that. So there's two things I'm going to be showing you on the security, which is we're going to be using a plugin called Secure WordPress. And it's actually by Website Defender. Hopefully it shows up top of the list. Where are you? Let me type in Website Defender. There we go. Okay, so it's one word. That's why I got it wrong. All right, so let me go ahead and install this one. A lot of this stuff is a little bit over the top as far as security goes, depending on what kind of website you want to have. It's really meant for if you kind of just making sure it has this really cool checklist. Like for example, when you install WordPress, you shouldn't be using the WP prefix for your database. And then, so it has, let's see, htaccess file was not found in the admin directory. Your current user has too many rights. So it talks just a little bit about kind of what you can do. And then down, or not here, but it should be right. All right, yeah, so here's the database stuff. So you can do backups here. And then you can actually change your WordPress prefix. So I'm going to go ahead and change that. So link building land, so LBL. I'm going to rename that. And it successfully went ahead and did that for me. So hopefully we can pass that. Let me just see if there's anything else here. Okay, so now it should have a couple more things. So you're currently using user access WordPress database. That is true. When I set up the site, I did it so you could have the user for the database setting drop tables off the database, and I recommend highly not to do that. However, when we set up WordPress, we used the cPanel setup. So to actually really set up a more secure WordPress, you need to do it from scratch using the with actually setting up the permissions for the user so they can't drop the tables. The other thing that
Can you go into PHPMyAdmin and change those permissions?
you can, and let me go ahead and do so, just so I can kind of show you how that works. It's not PHPMyAdmin that you have to do it through. It's actually, so let me log in here. So so this is cPanel. You click on databases, and then you can come down into users. Click users, and it will show you all the privileges of that table. So we want to get rid of drop and make those or save those changes. Let's go back here. Let's do another refresh and see if this one.
How you access cPanel? How was that?
So it depends on your host. So like yeah, / cPanel. Yeah, HostGator will do it.
Okay.
Yep. And then so let me go back here because it looks like that actually opened up. Okay, so is missing the alter right. Okay, so let's go back here. Click on the user. And is there alter? Okay, so here's alter. Let's go ahead and change that. Save. doesn't. Oh, that's weird. Now it says we need to have alter enabled. So I'm just gonna enable drop just one last time to see what the error changes to. So it says I have too many writes, but I'm gonna skip that one for now because I'm wondering which write it's talking about. It could be any one of these. Let me just look real fast here one more time. The drop one is the biggest one that I know is a big security thing, because if someone drops the table, you can ultimately lose that data. But I mean, if someone deletes it, you can lose all the data there too. So anyway, it just shows security flaws. This one, it should have had something to where it actually creates it for you. So anyway, this security plugin will actually kind of do a security scan for you, is what it's used for, so you guys can kind of get those issues taken care of. Another one that a lot of people recommend changing is, and it's you actually have to, so here's, I have an FTP right into my server, and if you go into the WP includes folder, there's a file called general templates in here, right here, general template, and it's on line 1858. I can repeat all this stuff to you a little bit. So line 1858, right around there, is the generator one. Let me find out where I am. Get the time. Is this the right one? 1850. Oh, 1858. You know what? I apologize on that. It is actually line 2742. So this, the documentation I read from the old version of WordPress, the new one has updated. Anyway, this right here, if you actually echo out that one line, one of the biggest security flaws of WordPress is that if in your meta tags it shows you what version of WordPress you're using, people will know the exploits made for that version. And so if you actually get rid of that meta tag that they enter in, you're able to actually kind of combat some of those things, because they won't know exactly what version you're using at all. Backups, I really love using this WordPress backup plugin called Duplicator. So let me go ahead and install that and just show you how to use that. Most of today's time is going to be a lot more on the shopping cart than it is, and the theme, than it is the security and backups. So let me go ahead and install Duplicator. Activate theme, or activate the plugin, I should say. So Duplicator is this right here, and what I love about this, you just press create new, and then it's just a step process of saying, do you want a full backup? It does tell you if certain things are working or not, kind of how to solve those if you can't back it up fully, and then you can archive it either in a zip format or create an installer. And the installer, what the installer does is it will actually create your entire WordPress to where it's a zip file. You can go install the zip file on another server and then just hit it like you would install a WordPress from scratch, and it will actually just install the whole thing with your themes and settings all within the Duplicator, which is it makes it so moving from one server to another server is really, really easy. You just have to set up the database variables in there so that it works that way. So I'm going to go ahead, skip scan, let me go ahead and put in and build this thing. So it's going to be localhost. I'm just going to say the database is going to be called link building, and the user is going to be land for now. And then the new website that I'm going to be duplicating this into is going to be called ditter.com. And then it has just a couple other ones. Keep home path, we'll go ahead and enforce that, enforce some logins. And then we will go ahead, looks like it wants us to do one other thing. Alright, so the requirements are failing, that's why. Right. Is there a way to get it without the zip? Well, I apologize. I had no idea that my server was that bad. This is a HostGator server, and there's not a way for me to fix this. So that didn't turn out the way I was hoping it would. I apologize on that. Let me see if settings has something for us that would make it skip the scanner.
Does it just email you the zip file?
No, it should allow you to download it. But yeah, it is not allowing me to save this because the requirements have failed, which is just strange because I've had this actually work on another one of my websites. So I'm wondering why all of a sudden it's not working. Yep. All right. Well, I apologize on that. I was really hoping I could demo that for you because what it does is it just downloads it to where you could move it into another thing. I do know the e-commerce stuff's gonna work for us, so it's not a total loss. All right. So the e-commerce plugin is the one we're going to be using is called WP e-commerce. And I'm going to go ahead and deactivate it real fast and then kind of reactivate and go in from scratch. So let me do that and then let me delete the whole thing. Alright, so WP e-commerce. Install and then activate. So to set up e-commerce, there's a couple things that you guys need to help this plugin set up at the same time. Most e-commerce platforms, they will have your item list, a checkout page that will have kind of your cart type thing, and then kind of move forward into like the success page afterwards when they come back. One nice thing about this plugin is you can click on products. So I do have a product that I already uploaded. We're going to go ahead and go edit in that product right now. And inside of here, you're able to kind of do a description, put in your product tags, categories. I'm going to put a featured image in there. So give me 1 second as my images load. There we go. So I'm going to go ahead and click on the Google image and put that in there. It has product gallery images as well, so I'm going to go ahead and click on the free index one. You put your pricing controls in here. Variations, if your product has variations, such as pretty much the where you set that up. Let me click on it. Is you can add a variation like colors, shirts, that kind of thing, depending on what kind of product you have. Stock control, which is you have a SKU or SKU number, and then I have a limited stock. Here's the quantity of that stock. Taxes, an external link if you have a link off the site that you would want to like link to. Additional descriptions, and then this is kind of where the product download type stuff is. So if we had a download item, an e-download or an ebook, you can actually have that right in here or select from existing files. For right now, I'm actually going to be doing something like this. Is I'm going to upload a image is all I'm going to upload. In fact, you know what? We're going to put this, I'm going to do an image. One sec, let me find a good image. So let's say we wanted someone to download this logo, this AI file. I'm able to put that in there, and then that's going to be the product download. Shipping, if you have shipping options, you can put the pounds, all that, so that when they put in their zip code and everything, it will have the shipping address or the shipping calculated for them. Meta or custom metadata, that kind of stuff all the way through. So let me go ahead and update this product. After this, I'm going to go into the settings of the store before we actually go check out the front end. So you go settings to store, and then inside of here we have the general. Set up your store to your country, of course. So we're going to do USA. Target markets. You can click on what places you allow them to actually order your store. Right now, we're just going to, of course, do USA. Come down here. Keep stock in a cart for 1 day, and this is. So this is if someone orders, let's see, set the amount of time items in a customer's cart are reserved. So when they actually add something to their cart, it will reserve that item that you have set up. And then the hierarchy of the product URL, if you want the category URL in there. I don't like having subcategories in there. I like to keep my URLs as short as possible for the search engine. And then currency type, has tons of types of currency. We're going to do dollars, and then you can have different ways of the sign, location, the separators, all that kind of stuff. I'm going to go ahead and save the general settings. The admin, max downloads per file. So you can actually set it up to where they can only download the file 3 times when they actually have a file download. Lock downloads to an IP address. So if they download it once from an IP address, then it will always make it so you have to be from that IP address. So they couldn't go like email their link to several friends and have them download the file. Check meme types on file uploads. Really, this is just to make sure for security that they're not uploading like PHP to your server and then executing files on your server that's theirs. A lot of a malware will sometimes be done like that, and that it really all depends on the type of product you have, because you can allow them to upload like an image. If, for example, if you're a t-shirt shop and you're wanting like, we'll put this image on your shirt, they can upload the image that way. You want to make sure that they're not uploading PHP code straight into your website so that you have that problem. So store admin. So I'm going to just put support at generationlabs.com. Terms and conditions. Do you accept this transaction? I mean, really, you would want to have those filled out somewhere more professionally than that. Like free free termsandconditions.com or one of those that they have some kind of pre-built ones are great. Customer purchase receipt, and this is kind of the options that you have to put in the email, and you can put in like shop name, the product list, and when you put these type of things in, it will actually have the link to their product. So it'd be product list, shipping, and then the total price is kind of what's in there right now. I'm not going to be editing that. And then here's the track and trace. So this is if they have a tracking shipping thing. I know you guys, this more applies to you because you have a product that you're actually shipping to people. Is that right? So this is the tracking email that gets sent out, so that they would get an email that can go to like UPS or whatever you're actually shipping from. So I'm going to go ahead and save that. The next one is taxes. This is pretty much self-explanatory. If you guys use taxes, you could turn it on, and then you kind of go through the things. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on taxes just because a lot of times with e-commerce, if you're shipping in your state, you want to do taxes, but not with if you're shipping outside of your state. Shipping, so if you use shipping, where your origin is, the zip code, and then down here it is kind of like, do you want to do a table rate, flat rate, or weight rate? And then it has 3 different types of shipping. If you want to use something else like FedEx, they actually have plugins that you can, they're already online. You can just go kind of look for WP e-commerce plugins, and then you can add like FedEx and I don't know, there's DHL, things like that in there. So you can add the shipping in there. So I'm not going to enable shipping. Let me go ahead and go to payments. So here's the payment settings. For PayPal, unless you know what you're doing, I recommend sticking with PayPal Standard, which allows the option of you just put in your email address and it kind of links your PayPal account up to that. If you really want like express checkout, you can actually go into PayPal, set up your API type stuff. It's a little bit more advanced to figure that stuff out. But with an API, you're a little bit more secure at the same time because they don't have your email on the front end for them to like see visually until they hit your cart. And so we're not going to be using that. And then down here, it does allow you to select the currency, so US dollar. It does have a currency converter for you guys. So like I know you do international sales, so currency converter, it will allow that with PayPal is with just the standard payments with this type of plugin. Let me go down. Address filled, and you have to kind of put in what field goes to what. So let me quickly put that in, postal code and then the country field.
Any other payment gateways available?
Yeah. So just like the shipping is, you can download more. My favorite gateway right now is Stripe, and they have a Stripe plugin that you can just go download.
Is it specifically for
WP e-commerce? Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Stripe is my favorite. And so you could plug in your Stripe credentials right in there, and you can just.
authorized.net?
Well, they do have those. They have authorized.net. Here's the issue that you're going to be running into, and it's something we're going to get into in just on the next tab. Let me quickly. Oh, I just saved that. Let me click on checkout. Is force users to use SSL encryption. If you're going to use, like, for example, authorized.net and actually have the checkout page with the credit card on your website, you need to hook up SSL. And if you have like an old SSL, you need to renew it because of the heart leak bug. And so you need to make sure that the SSL encryption that you're using is safe now, because it's like all the ones that I have are all heart leaking. So I got to go. We have to all go and update our SSL certificates. But you can have them so the users can check out without a user account. I like that mode the best because then you're not forcing them to sign up. But depending on what you're doing, if you're wanting to collect their information as a subscriber to your website so that you can have like email blasts, that kind of stuff, then you may want to force them to actually log in before they can check out. And then right down here, this is the default checkout form, and you can actually create more forms. Here's all the questions they ask you, and they actually say enable same as billing. I like to do that so that you can click one button, it will put all your billing information as your shipping information. But you can customize everything in here, whether it's mandatory or display, that kind of stuff, all the way through. So I'm going to go ahead and save that, and I believe you can. All right, yeah, there we go. I believe you can just add fields as you want and then delete them and stuff. So, and then you can have all that type of stuff. So that builds our form. And the marketing page. This is when this plugin gets a lot more advanced because they have one of the downsides about this plugin is it requires a little bit more hand coding than some of the other ones to have it really show your product off, if that makes sense. And I'll show you a little bit about that here in just a few minutes when we get into the theme coding and stuff like that. But you can have plugins to where it's like users also bought this item on your website if you have like tons of stuff with your e-commerce. Social share links. I don't like using those. I like using different plugins for my social shares, which we already did from last week. So you'll see that on the product page. How customers found us, surveys, things like that. And then Facebook like button, which we're already kind of doing with our other social media plugins. So a lot of that marketing stuff I don't really use unless you have a use for it. This will give you the Google product feed. And you actually have to go into their merchant services, and that way your products will actually show up right inside of Google products when you actually search for that. That I could spend a whole bunch of time on how to actually set that up and implement it because you have to go set up your Google Merchant Center and pretty much put your feed in and make sure it's all set up correctly. So Google Analytics. That should have already been done through another one of our plugins. So, did I cover that plugin last time, Google Analytics? Yeah, I thought I did. So let's see what. Oh, this is just for Google Analytics. Let me go ahead and save that page. The last one is the presentation page, and this is the big one that allows us to customize the look and feel of the shopping cart. This is where we'll kind of get into a little bit more of the advanced theme editing. So button type, we can have add to cart or buy now. The difference is buy now is only available if you have the PayPal standard payments, and as soon as you click the button, it shoots you over to PayPal instantly instead of like going through the checkout process. And then PayPal will actually kind of help handle some of the data collection. So show product ratings, stock availability, display fancy purchase notifications, display per item shipping. I'm going to go ahead and say no on that. Disable link and title, and then add quantity field to each product description. I'm just going to put no. Go ahead.
Just one question. If you go back up a step, when you have the buy now does that stop them from ordering 2 products or 3 products?
Let me go ahead and we're gonna. Let me save this. Go back to payments and put in my email address and put it in test mode, and we will go through a full checkout right now. So that way you can kind of see product display default view, purchase unavailable options. I'm wondering if they. So it looks like they have some different plugins that we can kind of look at. Most of the plugins for this shopping cart is actually free, which is why. But they do have people that build plugins and stuff for this shopping cart that are premium and stuff like that. So here's a grid view settings, show image only, all that kind of stuff. Add more, display more details button. So I'm going to go ahead and, oh, come on. All right, there we go. Show list, and I'm going to go ahead and count this up to like 4 products. Show list of categories, yes. Show all products. What you want to sort them by. Show breadcrumbs. I'm going to keep that no. Product groups and product display. I'm just going to go ahead and leave it the default. Show subcategory products. Like, I'm not using subcategories, I'm just using parent categories, so that doesn't matter. Replace page title with product category name. I actually like that so that it will show up different. But like last week when we went over the SEO plugins, the page title that we put into that SEO, like the Yoast plugin, will overwrite the settings on this. So we're going to go ahead and leave all those at no, so we can have SEO be the SEO plugin and this be just the shopping cart is what you want to do. Shopping cart locations. What this is kind of cool is you can either create your own custom cart and push manual, or you can have a widget or page. We're just using a page right now, and I'll show you how we're going to set all that stuff up here in just a second. Show product category descriptions, and this is the category page, and so we're going to leave all those to no. Thumbnails. We crop the thumbnails, and I like having them proportional, so I always leave it to no. And then lightbox effect, which we went over the lightbox last week, but they do have the ability in this shopping cart plugin to have the lightbox stuff. And then use pagination. So if you have pages of products, you can have it at the bottom go, you're on page 1, let's go to page 5, and you can kind of like look through all the products that you have, and then where the page number positions are. They have this comment setting thing. I don't recommend using any type of comment plugin unless it's Discuss is the one that I'd recommend. The other thing that we have is on this page is the advanced theme settings. All of these get copied right into our themes folder for us to be able to go in and actually edit and customize the way that we want to. So now that we have the entire storefront set up, I'm going to click on pages, and it should have already created the products page, the checkout, transaction results, and your account for us. So it should have already created all those for us. So inside of the checkout page, as an example, it under the text it just pretty much says, don't delete this unless you know what you're doing. The theme itself sets up this link where it says product page checkout, so that it will replace this data with its own. But you can come in here and do all of the SEO that you want to do with the Yoast plugin. And you can see over here products page as far as the parent goes. And I think that is, so let's go ahead and go to the front of our website. Do you have a question?
So do those files go into your functions.php? Is that where they're dumped into, or is that?
So we're gonna take a tour of the theme folder right now, of how the theme is actually built, and then I'll show you those files, because I've gone through a lot of this already, and I know of several spots that we need to actually tweak the shopping cart in the code end to make it look great on the front end. So I'm going to click on services, and of course right now we just have the services showing up right here. So we have to go to the menu. Let me quickly just add the product list right here to the menu and save that, so that way it shows up here. So okay, so let me click on products page. So let me close out of that. All right, so visit the shop. Oh, okay. So you could kind of get an example of how this page is laid out. It is not very friendly to the eye yet, because right here is the entire buy now with the 10 links that we just uploaded, that product. If I click that, it should just take me straight over to PayPal, which it did. I need to add an email address. I completely forgot to do that. Let me go back and do that real fast. So payments, the PayPal standards. So I'm going to go ahead and type in my email address. We're going to say sandbox account. And that will. So if you guys remember, this is more for you guys since of the shipping stuff. We went below to that one page that you had all of those forms that you wanted the users to fill out. You can have this right here, set it up to where PayPal will collect the information for you and actually send it back into your WordPress website. And that's kind of how that's set up. Let me go ahead now and refresh this page. Click Buy Now. And let's see, will it not let me do a quantity? Alright, so it won't let me do a quantity there, which is, to answer your guys' question, is the Buy Now button will probably be probably not what you want to do. What you'll probably want is on the presentation. Let me click on Add to Cart, Save Changes, go back out to the front page. So now it says this Add to Cart button right here. Now these edits will only show up because I'm logged in. When you're live, it should just have the description and everything. So click Add to Cart, and then it adds it to the cart. And let me go back to the product, because I'm wondering if I put that there was a stock in here. So let's go here. Let's see, where's the stock? Okay, limited stock. Yeah, I don't. Let me try adding to cart one more time. Oops. Oh, now I have 3 in there. That's not what I was wanting to do. Let me clear the cart real fast and do it one more time. So I'm going to have to find out a little bit more on the quantity control, but I know that they have a way to do it with what I was reading. Anyway, then you can do the checkout right here. And it asks you, oh, look, there we go. So I guess you have to press a checkout button to get to the quantity to update that. So we can kind of go quantity 2 at this point. Enter your email, your first, all that type of information, and then whether you want to pay with the PayPal or credit card. I believe the credit card right now, and hopefully all these fields are. Yep, I was hoping that would be the case. I believe the credit card one is our testing account. So I'm just going to quickly fill this out. Alabama, postcode, phone number, and then first, same as the shipping, so that worked. I agreed terms and conditions, and then purchase. So here's the transaction page. So this is the thank you page. Since that was a test transaction, that's how I got here. So now to get into kind of customizing the theme, what I have here is, so when you log in, there's a couple different ways that you can customize a theme. I like to go in through FTP and actually just manually edit the files instead of editing through here. You can go into Appearance and then Editor and actually edit your theme right through WordPress with all of these theme options on the side, you pretty much say, okay, I need to edit. Let me just, so like the header file, you can click on that, and then it will actually open the header file, and you can come in here and edit it here. The big problem I don't like is, even with some of the advanced editors that WordPress has, is that it's hard to read. I really like having something that color codes it. So I went into WP Content Themes Responsive, which is a theme that we're using. And so now I'm going to kind of just go over quickly of what these different files do for you. So you have your header file. The header file is always the very, very top of, let me open up Link Building Land. Services. The header file is usually everything from this point above is in the header file, because everything is template based. So it's a header file, the body, and then the footer files, how WordPress websites are made. So here's the header file, and you can kind of see if you scroll down, you don't need to worry about the PHP code, which is this stuff. But if you head down here, you can find, for example, the logo and how they get the logo name in there. And then the menu is just right after that. So that's kind of like all that type of stuff. So if I come up here to the logo, what I can do is, let's see, here's the image one. So there's an image one, and then this is the text logo. So right here's the image. I'm going to go ahead and just put test right in there in the header, and then right next to land we have the word test. So you can see how I just edited that file in there. A lot of times the best way to find stuff if you want to edit things out on this page is you do a control inspect to element, or sorry, shift right click inspect element, and then you look for things that have IDs or classes like skip container. So we have ID logo, and then you go open up that file, find ID logo, and then that's kind of where you'd go edit some stuff with that type of thing. There are several pages that are very important. This theme is very advanced. There's a lot of pages. One is the full width page, the front page. The footer, of course, is everything right down here at the end. So that's the footer section. Let me close out of that. So the footer section is all down here. So if you wanted, for example, it says responsive theme powered by WordPress, I would open up the footer, come down to the bottom of that, and look here. This is where that data is in there. So I'd be able to say theme created by, and then put a link, and then http://generationlabs.com, target blank, which makes it open up in a new window, and then just say Generation Labs. So if I save that, the bottom of the footer should now say, as soon as it loads, oh, did it load? Let me try it one more time. All right, yeah, theme created by Generation Labs, and it has a link to where they can just go straight to my page. So that's the footer file. Pretty much the only thing you'd ever edit in the footer file is, of course, that little bit of saying, oh, it's created by my company, or even just erase it completely so that you guys don't have that type of thing in there. So as far as the checkout page goes, let's go ahead and kind of go through that just a teeny bit. So we have the products page. In here we have the 10 links. One thing I don't like about this products page is that we have it kind of like this data right up here that really doesn't make any sense. So the files that got added for the cart, they all start with WPSC, and they have products page, and so you kind of know exactly where you are. So I'm going to go ahead and open up the products page. Inside of the products page, just quickly glancing on how they put this together. So we have Um, let me show you the method. So we'll go here. So this is the title post. So let's find out if they have the word title in here. So here's title. That's for an image. Okay, here's the product title. So that's for that title right there. I'm looking for the title, not product title. Okay, so it looks like this is the category. So top of products page right here. And then we have the categories. So I'm going to go ahead and delete this whole thing out. Let's see what happens. Wrong one. Alright, let me try this one. Okay, so those two drop downs with the categories just disappeared because we deleted that code for them. So it's even above that a little bit. I am not. Let's see if this has another edit profile, single product. Does not look like they have the top of the product page here. So let me go ahead and so this is the shopping cart page, which is this one, and we can actually adjust kind of like how these are worded. I personally would rather the checkout right there, that checkout button, to have a actual button around it. Let me find what this button's called. So this checkout right here, we're gonna quickly find that real fast. So inspect element, title checkout, go checkout. So let's see. The checkout button in this page is okay, let me just type in go checkout. Is that right? Go checkout.
Question, do you find that the more premium shopping carts that you buy require less
Yeah.
modification? Do they,
Well, I mean, honestly, this one it's okay.
they all require about the same shipping and match your site?
Well, yeah, because it's like unless you buy the shopping cart theme with it all customized and ready to go right out of the gate for you. But like for example, and it's a little bit harder for me to quickly edit this because we're dealing with their theme file. But like for example, the CSS that's encapsulating this entire thing, I would be able to go in and actually make it so that, for example, this link right here, instead of it floating over to the left, I could have it centered. I could shrink this space up a little bit, and then have the checkout button be over here, which I have not. For some reason, the checkout box that I thought was in there, I think that it's actually being pulled in through another PHP class. So let me just click on cart widget links real fast and see if that should be. Yeah, it's crazy that it's not in there. Cart widget total. Let me see if that's in here. And let me just, okay, good. And it's not on this page, is it? So every single one of those pages, though, are here. So transaction results, grid view. So let's see. Oh, here's a cart widget. Let's see if it's right here. Okay. So here's the cart widget count, and then here's the links. So right here we should have here's the go checkout class, the one I was looking for. So let me go find the class of that button real fast. So it's really a matter of kind of digging through all of these files inside of the theme, and then finding that one. So let's see, the go checkout was just right there in front of me. Where to go?
When you make these kind of modifications to your actual like template files,
Yeah.
do you generally like to do it using a child theme, or like to protect against your updates at the beginning?
So what's cool about this type of plugin is it made a copy of all of those files for the checkout, and it actually put them into the theme. So you can update the shopping cart separately from actually having all of this stuff change. So you can keep updating the cart, adding plugins, that kind of stuff, and then you can go to your theme files and edit those completely separate. And then also, I mean, because I still haven't for some reason gotten that one to work. So the other option I have is every single theme inside of this home directory has the style.css. Inside the style.css, that's where the theme information is, of like what the theme name is, the description, where it kind of came from. And they usually leave this pretty blank, but you can actually come in here and create custom CSS. So I can say background color gray, for example, with a border, and I'm just going to do border, let's see, 1 pixel black, and then I'm going to do padding 10 pixels and 5 pixels. And then at that point, when I come up here, this checkout button right here, if it updates correctly, come on. Well, it's let's see, go checkout. Let me see if this styles. Oh, you know what? I didn't save it. That's probably what the problem was.
That important tag,
Huh?
that's an important tag.
Well, I'm wondering. Yeah, all right, here's the functions. I'm wondering if for some reason that CSS file was even being included inside of the header. Let me pull up the header file and see real fast, because I'm not sure if it was. So it doesn't look like. Let me go back to functions. So this one, what I absolutely hate about themes like this is versus building them myself, is that you have to deal within their framework. So I have to go into more themes over here, or theme options I should say, and there should be CSS styles, and now I can upload my CSS style right here. So they're not using this, but I can come over here and save it right into there, go back over, and now I should have that checkout button that I was wanting. Yep, there it is. So I can customize the button to be whatever I want it to look like. So CSS 3 buttons, for example, I can just go to one of these and be like, oh, you know what, I like this blue pill button, if it will give it to me. Let me go to a different generator site that will actually give me everything I want. So like that one right there, I can kind of copy all that code, go into the CSS styles, and then inside I can put that entire button that I just saved right inside of that. is there any other questions? Sadly this week is a little, like you can see the checkout button now, but sadly this week it was a little bit difficult to fit everything in an hour just because the shopping cart e-commerce platform is so complicated. But next week it'll be a little bit slower on how to actually build a theme page out, and so that will help out a little bit more. Plus, this whole plugin is, I mean, really, when you're dealing with stuff that other people create, it's like, you need to almost have Google open of how do you get past that problem so you can keep moving forward with certain things. But
Is most of the issues once you get product saved and set up, is it mostly just CSS and stuff?
yeah, just CSS and styling. Yeah. So really, it's just like the problem that you just saw me have, is trying to find where this stuff is inside of the template files to actually change the structure of it, and then on top of that, it's more of just as soon as you get to this stage, you can move it. Just to show you an example of a shopping cart that I've done recently. This is using a different plugin, but you can see, like, I had to stylize this entire thing so that it would work for him. And then we had to kind of go through this page and decide, well, what is the best way to stylize it? And this is kind of how we came up with everything. And then all of a sudden it goes through the shopping cart. This is a different plugin that came from that WPMU site that I told you about last week. I like that one a little bit more just because I like this type of checkout more so than the WP Commerce checkout. But it really depends on what you're working towards, because like if we just were doing the buy now buttons like I was showing you before, then the WP e-commerce checkout or plugin would be perfect for you. So go ahead.
You might have covered this last week, but how long do you like to wait until you update your WordPress database when there's an update?
I like to do it as fast as possible. So like I have 3 updates right here, and so Yoast is updated, and then the Meta Slider plugin is updated. So I'll go ahead and update those just whenever. The big thing that I look for is, unless WordPress has really come out with a big release, and hopefully I try to stay on top of WordPress news as much as possible, but usually their updates are just piece of cake little things. And if I go back to the updates, it looks like I have a theme. So the responsive theme that we've been building has an update. If you've been customizing your theme, I would be very, very careful on updating that thing, because you don't want it to overwrite files that you have. This style one right here that this whole thing is set up on, you can actually take this whole thing and delete it and call it your own thing. So we'll just call it, this theme is now called Link Building Land. And then at that point, save, and I believe that should get rid of, okay, you have installed, okay, so it looks like the update is through another file. And most likely it's one of these files in the core of the theme. If I built these themes myself, I would never use one of these cores of like all these pre-built themes. And that's where they get you with free themes versus something custom built, is that custom built, all of a sudden it's like you can customize the exact look and the feel of the entire website, where if you buy a theme or you get a free theme, you'll always find in there an upsell of like, oh, well, we have this really cool feature. In order for you to use it, you need to buy this or something like that. And that's why we like to just customize the theme from the get-go. And we can get exactly what we want without having to upgrade like that all the time. Anyway, I went over a little bit, but thank you guys for coming.
Yeah.
Hopefully it wasn't a complete waste of time for you guys.